good morning, good night, and good afternoon. I know I got it wrong, pero me vale. So, welcome to all the wonderful people all over the internet. This is El Tex-Mex Grupero, and we're here with a Tejano music review con Pio Treviño y Majic with its self-titled album released in 1982 para Discos Hacienda de Corpus Christi. So, what can I say? A little bit of crap. Man, I'm freaking sucking. Pero a little bit of a backstory. Well, the year's 1982, and prior to that, Pio Treviño, out of Kingsville, Texas, he used to be the lead singer for La Movida de Ricky Smith, who also recorded para Discos Hacienda. I believe he recorded maybe 3 or 4 albums. I want to say 3, but I could be wrong. Maybe 4. 4 a lo mucho, 3 a lo menos. So unless I'm wrong, please correct me. So anyways, he went on his own to become a lead singer. You know, it was pretty difficult for him to make it happen, but of course with el apoyo de Rick Garcia, which I believe he's the producer for the record label, and of course some of the guys he found, of course, among them being his brother Gus Treviño, which is he does a tremendous job on guitar on his recordings. Well, what can I say? You know, this debut album, it packs a punch. It really does pack a punch. 11 rolas, of course, tiene variado que desde rancheras, baladas, cumbia, hasta pop and rock, and oh my gosh, man, it knocks my socks off, dude. Listening to this album again, it brought me back so many memories, and I was just blown away. You know, first time hearing the whole album, something so unique and something so different that you're not accustomed to, you know, from the traditional Tejano. And of course, I want to consider this progressive, you know, something that of course, you know, I like progressive music, you know, something that builds up, you know, something different. Give me something different, give me something unique, something that's unheard of but that's still within that genre. And I can imagine, of course, the synthesizers that came out of that time period, those sounds y toda la onda, you know, the arrangements, and I can imagine, you know, it was one hell of a task for Majic and of course Pio to make this happen. So of course, starting with Piénsalo, the first song out of the album, it's catchy. It makes you want to dance a little bit, and of course there's El Magazine, the one that took the cake so far. And I want to say, for considering to be a post disco song, I say this one really, I want to say this one probably, what can I say? I mean, El Magazine, written by Luis Silva. And of course, making the arrangement to do like a post-disco song, that's really unheard of, and that's really badass in my eyes. Of course, Mas did disco, but that's their own thing, you know. We're talking about Pio Treviño, and of course, holy cow, man. De que sí se lo chingó esta rola, sí, hombre. I mean, of course, I want to say this was probably one of the singles out of the album, but of course I could be wrong, but I'd rather not be wrong because I freaking love this song. I want to say that's one of my favorite songs out of this album, let alone probably be my favorite song out of the whole discography de Pio Treviño. So anyways, there's Se Acabó, very chilling ballad, what can I say? And then of course there's Amigo, a cover from, of course, Roberto Carlos. And holy cow, man, you can just see those numbers for themselves, man. This probably being the hit, the banger, the hit of 1982. And I want to say, at that time period, not that many people were recording hits like that, but on a ranchera style, of course. Of course, you know, Al Chavaria, they do a lot of covers from pop artists, but of course when Pio did Amigo, of course it freaking expanded the doors to many artists to who wanted to do the covers. And of course, sadly, not many people acknowledge Pio or Al Chavaria, uh, for that. Because honestly, of course, we're used to listening to canciones de José Alfredo Jiménez, Felipe Valdés Leal, que Cuco Sanchez, and all this and that. But it's crazy to think that at that time period, hearing a Roberto Carlos song on al estilo ranchero, hombre, it's something that's really unheard of. And like I said, I want to say that's probably Amigo en el Magazine, probably one of my favorites. También, of course, it's catchy, it makes you want to dance, but of course, it's a Roberto Carlos song. So there's that. And of course, there's Dichoso Tuyo. I like the intro. It's very rock and rolly at the beginning, and it's just makes you just want to like rave a little bit, do a little bit of a mosh pitting. Even though it's a ranchera, but it's still catchy, it's very energetic. It's if it's something I wish we could go back, is I wish we could go back in time, or at least maybe recycle some of the elements of recording and arranging songs to where they're catchy, and of course it makes you want to dance, but on a more wider level now that we have the internet, thankfully. But what can I say? I mean, it's just my opinion, perhaps. Maybe there's already people out there that are doing it, and I'm just stuck in the freaking 80s and 90s. Okay, moving on to Cumbia para Ti. Kind of weird because there are two versions. One being this one that's 2 minutes long, and there's another one that's 4 minutes, I think, or 3. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it's a decent cumbia, nothing to it. And there's Hazlo Pronto, the song that got me hooked up to Pio Treviño, the song that got me listening to the whole album when I was, I believe, 15 or 16, maybe 14, ya ni me acuerdo, pero wow. Listening to that song, the chorus, and it just blew me away. And there's Muy Enamorada, which is a pretty good song. The synthesizers are pretty, how can I say? The sounds are pretty unique. I want to say weird, but more like unique. I can't really put my finger to it. I can't really mention anything other than that being unique, but I still like it nevertheless. I want to say probably my least favorite song out of the album, but I still mess with it. Then there's Con Este Cariño. It's your typical traditional ranchera when it comes to arranging it, but it's still danceable. I still mess with it. And there's Cuidado Amor. The intro still is somewhat similar to the Dichoso Tuyo, but nevertheless a pretty decent song. And then the last but not least, Fuego, which is, I believe, a cover from Bruce Springsteen. I believe he's credited as the songwriter, and of course Pio Treviño managed to translate it. Most of these songs are written by him, so holy cow, that this man has the power to freaking write and arrange, make a song happen. Dude, my respects, like, honest to God, my respects for him. Of course, some of the songs being used, most of these songs, I mean, I want to say probably 2 songs were written by Luis Silva. 2 songs from Luis Silva and 2 songs from Roberto Carlos. But nevertheless, man, holy cow, dude, this album is just wholesome. Okay, so availability, pues a ver, $100 for a freaking CD, man. And considering it came from 1982, more likely the format you can get them would be vinyl. I want to say in the past I've seen the vinyl versions go up to like $20, $30 a través de eBay. I haven't really checked on Amazon, or you could check on Discogs.com, y ahí está uno de 20 varos. El que se anime, pues agárralo. Other than that, there's a cassette version. and maybe, just maybe, you might find the 8-track. Of course, sometime in the mid 2000s, Hacienda would remaster and remix, hacer toda la onda to make it happen with this releasing it on CD, which I'm not really a big fan of, like remastering, remixing, because of course it might just sound a little bit off. Maybe the how can I say, the speed might be a little bit off. I always give a lot of crap with Joey Records when it comes to like their re-releases. It just sounds like freaking garbage in my eyes. Well, some of the albums, some of them, not all, but some of them. Pero yeah, ahí está el álbum. Can't really see the freaking the band members. I don't think they even put the band members for the credits. It just sucks though. Pero ahí está. But yeah, what can I say? What can I say about this album? A 9 out of 10. That it has a lot of variety. It does. That it has a lot of energy. A lot of what can I say? Le mete mucho feeling. That's one thing I want to admire the Pio for. You know, he le mete mucho feeling, le mete mucho sentimiento a la rola, and you know, what can I say? This album really took his career to a whole new level. Not only recording with Hacienda, but of course merging with RCA, and then from RCA to CBS, and wow. I'm getting a little bit too ahead, but you know, what can I say? Wholesome. This is a wholesome album. I recommend it. For the ones who haven't really listened to it, take a listen to the whole album. You know, if not most of the songs, but I say all of it. I say the whole thing. Well, ni más ni menos, this has been Majic by Pio Treviño, his debut album and self-titled album. Ni más ni menos, this has been El Tex-Mex Grupero. Have a good one.